Some people are furious over the most recent episode of Stranger Things. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alerts ahead. In the penultimate episode, Will Byers finally comes out of the closet to his friends and family. He names a truth he has carried in fear and in silence. Because that silence has become a wound that their enemy, Vecna, the villain, can exploit. And predictably, the Magosphere melted down. Hi, I'm FatherRichV, and I talk about our Christian faith as it relates to the real world. If that feels like home for you, please follow me so you don't miss these important conversations. I found it to be a powerful scene, and when you watch it through a spiritual lens, it has far more to teach us about love, truth, and the interior life than the outrage crowd wants to admit. Because this one is not really about television. It's about how we love one another. Here is why that moment matters spiritually. If we let ourselves sit with it for just a moment, what happens in that scene is a reflection of the gospel. This is about loving our fellow humans. When Will confronts his deepest fear, he is not rejected. He is met with unconditional love. In that moment, family becomes a place of safety instead of the shame that he had feared. And that mirrors something deeply Christian. Pope Leo has reminded us in recent messages that Christians do not have enemies. We have only brothers and sisters. We are not permitted to divide the world into acceptable people and unacceptable people. We are called to love the people in front of us, especially when vulnerability costs them something. If we cannot rejoice when someone is met with compassion instead of condemnation, then something inside us is out of alignment with the gospel. The Holy Father has also been urging us to cultivate our interior lives to become healthy and joyful on the inside. And Stranger Things, of all places, makes that point with startling clarity. Their enemy Vecna feeds on interior wounds. He preys on shame, fear, self-isolation, and self-destruction. When Will finally names the truth he has been burying, the wound loses some of its power. And when his family, biological and chosen, reassure and embrace him, the wound heals. That is not a political message. That's a spiritual reality. Now stick with me until the end here because this is the really important part to hear. When our interior life is plagued by fear and secrecy, it affects how we live, how we love, and how we serve the world. And that is exactly what Will needed to confront. What we drag into the light can be healed. What we bury in fear ends up burying us. I post on this platform every day, and I see so many comments from people who claim the name Christian while saying they do not want people who are different from them or people they judge harshly anywhere near their spiritual homes. But in Scripture, we see something very different. People try to keep others away from Jesus, and Jesus welcomes them in. He walks with tax collectors. He comes to the aid of prostitutes. He speaks dignity to the woman at the well. And I will say this plainly. If we cannot find room in our hearts to welcome someone onto a television show, we are not going to welcome them into our churches or our homes or our communities. And it is in welcoming that we ourselves are welcomed. We depend on the mercy of God for our place in the kingdom. We cannot demand mercy for ourselves while denying it to others. So if this scene makes us angry, maybe the invitation is not to condemn the story, to ask, what is it inside of us that is being touched? And whether God might be calling us to love a little wider and to tend our own interior lives with a little more honesty and a little more grace. If this reflection resonates with you, Or if you see it differently, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if conversations like this help you to navigate faith in the real world, please give me a follow so we can keep walking this journey together. Thank you, and God